Welcome everyone! In this video, we are going to be diving into my top 3 best teams for alolan Sandslash. Slash got some love for Season 15 of Pokemon Go Battle League. This is something that was very much on my wish list for Season 15. I wanted Sandslash to get a better ground type move for that fire and steel type coverage, which it definitely needs. In my wish list, I was calling for a bulldoze buff, but we got the next best thing coming in the form of Drill Run added into its move pool, so this is amazing. As minor as it may seem, it does seem like a very minor change. I think in practice, we're going to see a massive difference with Drill Run on Slash. So we've got 3 very solid teams for you guys. I know a lot of you guys are itching to run alolan Sandslash, and by the way, the Shadow is preferred and recommended, so that is what we will see on these 3 teams. Don't worry, if you don't have the Shadow, you can still run the non-Shadow. It's just the Shadow sims slightly better in the Open Great League. So with all that out of the way, let's dive right into these alolan Sandslash teams for the Great League. All right, guys, here we go. Team number 1 for alolan Sandslash in the Great League for Season 15 of Pokemon Go. It leads with alolan Sandslash, speaking of, Medicham on the safe swap, and Altaria in the back to close the game strong. So, Sandslash on the lead is going to be quite strong, has a lot of very strong play up against a lot of the common Pokemon that we see. So leading with it makes a lot of sense. You just really have to protect it from the fighters first and foremost, and the fire types to a lesser extent, which is why we've got Altaria and Medicham in the back. Let's have a look at this scorecard here. And not bad. Very solid overall. We get a B for coverage, B for bulk, B for safety, and an A for consistency. That is a very strong scorecard for team number 1 here. Let's have a look at these matchups. Actually, before we dive too deeply into these matchups, seeing the narrow losses to the 2 most prominent steel types being Registeel and G-Fisk, don't be alarmed by that. So I'm going to show you guys something just in case you are unaware of this aspect of PV Poke. If we hit that Advanced tab and we see here in the shields, by default, it's an average of the 0s and the 1s. So they take the simulations from both the 0s and the 1s and they combine them, they average them out. So if we put this on the 2 shield and rate the team again, we get the same exact scorecard, but as you can see now, in the 2s where these encounters will occur, we can see that Sandslash very clearly beats both Registeel and Galarian Stunfisk in the 2s. So if you guys have been messing around on PV Poke and did not know about that aspect of PV Poke, that adjustment, and you found yourself a little bit underwhelmed, hopefully I shed some light on that for you. So as we can see in the 2s, Sandslash on the lead. That's how every battle begins in the 2s. If you encounter Registeel or G-Fisk, you can rest assured that you will reliably beat both of those in the 2 shields. So no worries there whatsoever. Scrafty, of course, is going to be a problem, which is why we have 2 Scrafty answers in the back. I really just wanted to... What did I want to really hammer home? Deoxys. That's one that I want. That's the number 1. A little bit of a core breaker, considering Deoxys can beat both Medicham and alolan Sandslash individually. So the way I would play a DD lead is you can play it a number of ways, and this comes down to your ability to read teams accurately. So defense form Deoxys on the lead is almost always going to have an Umbreon in the back, perhaps a second Dark type or a Noctowl. So in that case, knowing that, you can safe swap Altaria in that occasion, and you will likely draw out the Umbreon because alolan Sandslash does not want any part of an Umbreon either, and you can look to play on from there. You're not going to shield, you're going to look to play out the zeros and see what comes of that. If you can grab a shield, that would be really good for you because Medicham up a shield can do quite well up against Defense Form Deoxys. So that's how I would play that. But everything else in between is pretty straightforward. You're swapping out on the fighters, and if you run into an odd fire type, of course you're getting the heck out of there as well. So, and a Dunsparce. Dunsparce can core break the team a little bit. It's not in the and on this little tongue tied here on this list of potential matchups. So what you'll want to do is go into your Medicham, as it does core break Sandslash and Altaria a little bit, and look to play on from there. The key is to get a shield advantage because Altaria up a shield can do quite well up against Dunsparce as well. So that is team number one. Very strong team, very powerful team for alolan Sandslash. And it leads with alolan Sandslash on the lead, Medicham on the safe swap, and Altaria in the back to close the game strong. So with all that said, that is team number one. Let's have a look at team number two. All right, moving right along to team number two. Another very strong alolan Sandslash team for you guys to consider for the Great League. And it leads with Medicham on the lead, Lantern on the safe swap, and alolan Sandslash in the back to bring it home for you as a closer. With Trevenant basically being pushed out of the meta with the nerf this season, I am really warming up to the idea of perhaps utilizing Lantern as a safe swap. So if you're wondering about that, I'm not too concerned about it. So let's have a look at the scorecard here. And same scorecard as team one. So we get a B for coverage, B for bulk, B for safety, and an A for consistency. Another very strong scorecard here for team number two. And let's have a look at these matchups. So Medi on the lead, we all know what's up there. Medi, arguably the most powerful lead option you can run, especially in season 15 of Go Battle League. You push Trevenant out of a meta, holy smokes, Medicham is going to be on fire this season. So with it on the lead, you do have some challenges, of course. The flyers can be a bit of a problem, which is why we've got Lantern and A-Slash in the back. They handle the flyers, while Medi handles just about everything else in between. I did want to go over Sableye if you were to encounter it on the lead. I don't know how many we'll see. They did start to come much more to prominence as the last Great League cycle came to a close. So people might be riding that wave into season 15. You just go into Lantern. There will likely be two steel types in the back. Last season it was Reggie and Basti. So you go into Lantern, and they will likely stay in. They're probably gonna stay in, or seeing that it's a Medicham, they might swap out as well. You never know what people are gonna do, but you can reliably go into Lantern on those Sableye leads and look to play on from there. And do keep in mind that Sandslash also has very strong play up against Sableye as well, so really not so bad. Altaria, I wanted to go over a little bit. Obviously, Sandslash thoroughly dominates Altaria quite handedly. It's not very close at all. And Lantern actually beats Altaria in the zeros. So you can chip and dip into Lantern if you're really good. You really know what you're doing in Pokemon Go Battle League. You will chip with that Ice Punch, either do about half of Altaria's health, or grab a shield, and then you catch that Sky Attack on the Lantern. That's how I would play that. But if you're new, you're not quite comfortable doing that, you can immediately go right into Lantern, look to play out the zeros. The key is to grab a shield and play on from there. Because Altaria will have a steel type in the back, usually coming in the form of Registeel. And if they watch my channel and they're leading Altaria, there's a very good chance that they have a Vigoroth on the safe swap. For those of you who have just watched my top 5 best teams overall in the Great League. So Altaria, again, not that big of a deal. And Deoxys, always going to be a thorn in the side if you run a Medicham A/core. That's one that sort of you got to tag team a little bit across the board with the entire team. Again, like I just said, Deoxys 9 times out of 10 will have at the very least an Umbreon in the back, perhaps a second dark type, maybe a Obstagoon, but usually a Noctowl or a Double. So you're going to have, on this particular team, you can go right into Lantern. Lantern is arguably the best generalist in the league right now, and see what comes of that and look to play on from there. That's what I would do. But everything else, again, pretty straightforward. Another very strong alolan Sandslash team for you guys. It leads with Medicham on the lead, Lantern on the safe swap, and Sandslash in the back to bring it home for you. So that is team number 2, and with all that said, let's have a look at team number 3. All right, guys, last but certainly not least, team number 3 for alolan Sandslash in the Great League. It leads with Noctowl on the lead, Galarian Stunfisk on the safe swap, and Sandslash in the back yet again to bring it home for you. An ABB style team. Their ice types are going to be running rampant, my friends. Wally got a buff. Dugong got a buff. Opposing Sandslash's got a buff. So we've got to protect our Owl from the ice types, and we've got the steel types in the back for that. So let's have a look at this scorecard here. And not bad, not bad. I usually like to see a B or an A or a B for coverage. We do get a C for coverage, but generally that is what you're going to see for an ABB style team. Not a big deal considering that. We get a B for bulk, B for safety, and an A for consistency. So pretty solid overall. Definitely a team that I would strongly consider running. It's going to be quite strong. Noctowl on the lead, of course, doesn't want to really have anything to do with the steel types, although it can fight back, has that coverage. So if you encounter a Registeel or a Bastiodon, those are really the 2 steel types that you want to avoid at all costs. There is no shot of you beating them, so you're going to go immediately into Stunfisk and look to play on from there. You will likely draw out their fighter, so that alolan Sandslash, being double weak to it, doesn't have to deal with it. Noctowl can come back in, take out that fighter, and that frees a way for alolan Sandslash to absolutely go on a rampage. That's how the team is designed. Same goes for Lantern. You treat that as you would a Registeel or a Bastiodon. You have 0 chance, as we all know, of beating a Lantern. But our 2 steel types in the back do quite well against Lantern, so no problems there. Vigoroth. It's saying that Vigoroth beats all 3 of these Pokemon individually. Those of you who played the Sunshine Cup will know that Noctowl can beat Vigoroth in the zeros. So that's exactly what I would do. You want to save those shields for your Shadow Sandslash to put in work. So play out the zeros, see what they want to do. If they see that you're in it for the long haul, there's a very, very good chance that they will look to pivot, and that will be fine. You just play on from there. Same goes for Walrein. Walrein does not beat G-Fisk in the 2s. It is very much bait dependent. Of course, if they land that big EQ, it does about 65% of G-Fisk's health, and then that gives them license to go for the Icicle Spears. Of course, you're not staying in there on Walrein, you're going into your own G-Fisk. In fact, that's what you're doing on all of the ice types. You go right into G-Fisk and look to play on from there. Walrein does not like those rock slides. One rock slide does a little over 50% health, and you do outpace. So Wally has to successfully bait and land that EQ. So that is how you would want to play. Play with that in mind, and you'll be doing just fine. And that is about it. DD, you can stay in and try and just get rid of it at all costs. That's a bit tricky because it could be triple counter. If it is, you just lose. You can't beat triple counter. But if it's an Umbreon and an Owl, which is generally what you will see, you do have a shot there. So if you can clear that DD, you could also look to play it another way. An alternative way to play that is to look to land that Shadow Ball and then pivot into your G-Fisk. If you're really good, you'll catch that Thunderbolt on the G-Fisk and look to play on from there. So that's an alternative way to also play that and play on from there. So yeah, very strong teams here for alolan Sandslash. Wanted to get you guys started off right in Season 15. That about wraps it up for the Sandslash teams. And I am very happy and appreciative for the drill run update. I think it will be a lot better than it may seem on the surface. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to running Sandslash myself. You will definitely see one or more of these teams featured on this channel once Season 15 drops. But, guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching, and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.